You may recognise the antique shop behind me. Good morning. So today we're in Notting Hill. We're going to explore the area. We'll find some delicious places to eat, hopefully. I'm sure we will. We'll also be doing a little bit of shopping and just seeing what there is to see in Notting Hill. We'll also check out some film locations, including Paddington, Love Actually, and Notting Hill, of course, a classic British film. And if you haven't seen it, definitely check that one out. There's lots of places to eat, there's fashion, antiques, high-end boutique stores as well. So there's lots and lots of things to see and to do in Notting Hill. So even if you're not a film fan, there'll be plenty to see in this video. And as you can see behind me, there's blossom on the trees. It is springtime, which is just making the area look even more beautiful. Of course, we'll be mindful because people actually live in these streets, which blows my mind completely because they are so beautiful. Look, I love all the different colours of the houses. It's so peaceful because it's so early in the morning. So Notting Hill used to be a pottery and pig farm, and it was called Nottingdale. It was only in the early 19th century that the name changed to Notting Hill. There was a larger build-up of houses, so they decided to change the name to Notting Hill. I don't know about you, but I feel like both have a certain charm to them. Across the road is Farm Girl, which is a cafe, an Australian cafe. It looks extremely Instagrammable. If you look it up, you'll be able to see. I'll pop some photos in here as well. We're not going to visit Farm Girl today. We're going to go to the Notting Hill Bookshop Cafe. It's newly opened. Haven't been able to find many photos online. I'm extremely curious, so we'll see what it's like inside. We'll also then hop across. It's like 2 doors down is the Notting Hill Bookshop, which inspired the bookshop in the Notting Hill film. Thought we'd just pause here a moment so you can check out the menu if you did want to go. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Emily. Stick around for shopping, home renovations, reviews and vlogs, including lots of London videos. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Nice to see some Paddington merchandise being sold around here as well. In a moment, you'll see why. Oh, I like this bag. So this is the Notting Hill Bookshop. This is the bookshop that inspired the bookshop in the movie. I'm just going to wait a moment. And then next door is Rodeo Donuts. And then next door to that is the newly opened, the Notting Hill Bookshop Cafe. And that's where we're going to pop in today, see what it's like. It's nice and early, so it's lovely and quiet at the moment. Or it looks like the bookshop is also open, which is perfect. The staff were so lovely inside, so it turns out that this was a cafe before called Cable Co. They have a new partner, so it's been rebranded and it's going to have new fittings at the end of April, so it'll look a little bit different in there as well. So I went for a cup of tea. I like the little stickers they have on their cups, they're so cute. Okay, it has to be done. I'm just a girl standing in front of the Notting Hill Bookshop Cafe asking for a tea.
I'm also just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her.
Okay, so we have our tea and now let's go into the Notting Hill Bookshop and check it out. So this is the bookshop that inspired the bookshop that's in the Notting Hill film. Now there is another one, it's a gift shop, but it says the Travel Bookshop. And some people think that that's the one that inspired the film because of the way that it's labelled on the outside. So don't let that trick you. It is a very cool gift shop, but it's not the bookshop that inspired the film. This one is on Blenheim Crescent. So we'll go inside and we'll check it out. Just finishing my tea before I head inside because I don't want to be taking drinks into a bookshop. No. So originally this was a travel bookshop. Since then, they have widened the variety of books that they sell, so it's not just travel books. And they have blind dates with books, which I absolutely love. I love these mystery books. So they give you some hints on what book is inside. So obviously, if you like, let's have a look, American literature, then you might go for this one.
Bramley Hatch.
Wild West, based on real events. So you don't know what book you're actually buying. It's a blind date with a book. Look at the sticker over the top. These are so cute. So $7.99 for a blind date with a book. Super cute idea. I love that. Right, let's head inside. I love the little cards on the front of the books and little notes to give you a little bit more information about what the book is like. I think this might be the first time I've filmed inside a bookshop because it just feels so strange. It's so quiet in here, so small, but I want to show you inside, and they have some very cute postcards. These are like cardboard postcards, and they also have paper ones as well. These charms are so cute. $6.99. Oh, a keychain, £5. They're good prices. Oh, I'm also just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her. Blind date with a book. Oh, these are so cute. Whoopsie daisies. If you're not sure what that means or what that's referring to, don't worry. I'm going to show you later on in this video. I might get these. They're so cute. And the journals are $9.99. Incredible book, love that one. A little nod to what was. So I realised I should probably tell you a little bit about the film Notting Hill in case you haven't seen it. So Hugh Grant's character William falls for an actress called Anna, who is played by Julia Roberts, who is one of my most favourite actresses of all time, I would say. Absolutely love her, especially in Pretty Woman. Incredible. Anyway, he works in a bookshop. He falls for Anna. There's some very funny moments in the film. I won't spoil the movie for you, but I will show you some of the locations. So if you've seen it, then you'll probably recognise them. And if you haven't seen it yet, then when you do watch it, you'll be like, oh, wow. Even if you're not interested in the film at all, don't worry, because there's lots of beautiful places in Notting Hill, lots of places to explore, and absolutely fantastic buildings. Absolutely incredible. It's crazy to think that people actually live in these places. I'm going to show you a pink building later on, which is a famous house from Love Actually, but it is actually a house as well. And the owner said that she has people actually try her front door and peer into her windows when she's working from home. So she has that experience of people not being very considerate to it being her home, unfortunately. We're now on St. Luke's Mews. Obviously, again, taking into consideration that people do actually live here, as crazy as that can seem. So these houses were originally built during the 17th and 18th century, and you may notice that these houses look a little bit like stables downstairs. That's because they actually were stables to house horses. So some of them have been obviously converted, you can tell, and some of them have kept the original kind of design. So you could have carriage house below with the living area upstairs. And fun fact, Michael Caine has owned several Mews houses in his lifetime. They're absolutely beautiful. Absolutely love the green ones, and then the deep blue ones over here as well. Oh, it's so nice and peaceful down here too. Okay, so if you're able to choose one of these houses, which one would you go for? You may recognise this pink house coming up. It is used in the Love Actually scene where it has the cue cards. Very famous scene. I'll show you it here now. It's gained a little bit of controversy over the years. Is it cute? Is it creepy? All up for debate. There's a little bit of scaffolding happening at the moment over here. There's a little bit of repair work going on, but you can see that blue plaque just there. If you have sun there, you can see it a little bit better. So in the studio lives the spirit of Circle Press, founded by Ron King, which flourished on this site from 1988. And I love going around and finding these blue plaques. It's great to see the history. We are outside one of the most famous blue doors in the world. I'm going to move across in a moment because there are people waiting to take photos as well.
That's my house there with the blue front door.
This is, of course, the door from William Thacker's house. Now, you might be able to see, look, there's not actually a house there, like above. But this is one of the most famous blue doors in the world, and it's not actually the original. So the original was auctioned off to charity and it was replaced with a black door. What? A black door? Of course they painted it blue. They had to. Lots of people were very unhappy, so now they have the blue iconic door back again. So that's 280 Westbourne Park Road, and as you can probably tell, that's the queue to take a photo. So we're just walking along Portobello Road now. Obviously, at the Portobello Road markets. Oh, look at these canvas magnets, they're so cute. They're £5 each. There are a lot of tourists around Notting Hill, to the point where I'm not even sure people do live in these houses. I think it's just a place where people come and take photos because there are a lot of tourists and it's very early in the morning still. Very early, it's 10 o'clock, so not very early in the morning, but it's still quite early. But there is a lot of tourists around. Maybe the people who actually live here are busy working and that's why. But it feels a little bit like if you go to Universal Studios in Hollywood and you take photos outside places that are, you know, like movie locations. They have the backlot tour and you can walk around and you can take photos outside famous like churches and things, like the movie backdrops. It feels a little bit like that when you're walking around. And I think it's because the houses are so well maintained and so well kept. And then you have so many people just taking photos outside that it feels like that. I don't know. I also realise it doesn't bother me, people taking photos outside people's houses. But what does bother me is when people are taking their coats off and hanging them along people's gates or walls and going all the way up to the front door and leaning on the front door and taking photos. So I just think there's like a level of consideration. I think that's what it is. Because before I was like, hold on a minute, I've taken photos outside people's houses. I'm a huge hypocrite. What am I talking about? I can't be saying that it makes me feel like, I don't know, just a bit like, oh, you know, you get that feeling like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. Yeah, that's why. I think it's just consideration in how it's done. Like, take a quick picture, move on. It doesn't really affect anyone. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. It's beautiful here. You should see the cherry blossom as well. I mean, look at the blossom on the trees, the beautifully coloured houses. I like ice cream colours. I feel like spring was the perfect time to come and explore Notting Hill as well, with all the blossom. This has taken me so many takes to film just because I keep laughing at the thought of saying whoopsie daisies. I find it such a funny, like very typically British moment in the movie as well. But yes, this is Rosmead Gardens, and this is where William tried to climb the gate to get into the garden. And of course, Anna made it look extremely easy in the Notting Hill film. So Hugh Grant's character, William, slips and doesn't manage to make it over the gate initially, and he says, whoopsie daisies, to which Julia Roberts' character finds absolutely hilarious.
Whoopsie daisies.
In the film, there was a park bench outside, which was just for the film. So it was just a film prop, because obviously this is a walkway. Rosmead Garden is a private garden. You cannot enter, but you can kind of see just inside there. Now there's a little bit of construction work happening a few houses down, which is why I have the mic so close to me, hoping you can hear me okay. Just over there, popping some scaffolding up. Like the way I said, popping some scaffolding up, like it's really easy to do. I'm sure it is not. Definitely does not look easy. But yes, you can kind of see a little bit. It is definitely well covered, the gardens. Yes, I would definitely say you can see a little bit through the gate, but generally you can't really see the garden. We are now at Lansdowne Road, and we're going to find number 91. Oh, this is so much fun. Like, I love looking at all the houses because they're absolutely beautiful. So this is Bella and Max's house. This is where Will brings Anna to meet his sister.
Come on, invade food crisis.
I'm not surprised they don't have the door number on the door. They're like, you know what house this is. Okay, so imagine you could choose one of these houses to own and live in. Which one would you choose? Kind of like this blue one, the light blue one there. I think that's the one I would choose. I don't know, they're all beautiful. Be real about this, I'm not saying no, am I? Like whichever one you want. Wow, looks like it's moving day for someone today. This area is famous for beautiful Victorian houses. So I've never seen a blue circle that big before. One of my favourite things is when you have trees lining the streets like this. I just think it is so pretty. It makes it look lovely. When I lived in Australia, I lived in a place called Unley, and they used to have streets like this. King William Road had lots and lots of cafes and little boutique shops, and then trees just sectioned off like this, which was absolutely beautiful. They had, instead of having road, they had like, so they did have a road, but it was like cobbled. It's very pretty there, just like here. Of course, they didn't have Victorian style houses along there. They had cafes and boutique shops. So the only real comparison is the trees lining the streets and the fact that it feels very nice around these areas. Very nice, my way of saying a little bit posh. Just going to walk down Portobello Road again. It's looking a little bit more lively than it was this morning. I don't know if London's a rainy city anymore, to be honest. It doesn't seem to rain as much as it used to. These are sweet little coasters. Oh look, Christmas decorations. Can you see the electric cinema behind these vans? We'll go across over here. So you may have seen these on Instagram. You most probably have seen these on Instagram. So I think we're a little bit too early. It's not currently open, but if you see a film here, then they have amazing seats. They even have beds as well. So I'll pop some photos in so you can see. It looks like they have the original stands for where you pay. Wow. So this is the Travel Bookshop gift shop. So it's just a gift shop. Remember, we saw the real bookshop earlier on. I'm just inside. They have postcards for £1 or 6 for £5. I like this one. They have some badges as well. They're £4 each or 3 for £10. And the iconic "I'm Just a Girl" scene on a t-shirt. I wonder how much these are. Oh, they're £20 each. So you do have lots and lots of tourist gifts in here. There are, of course, lots of gift shops along Portobello Road. Bags are £10 each or 2 for £18. Oh, canvas feels nice. Good quality. Can you remember earlier when I said that they sell some Paddington merchandise and I'd show you why? Well, here's the reason why. You may recognise the antique shop behind me. It says Alice's above the door, but it does start in Paddington as Gruber's Antique Shop. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you inside because Alice's is the only shop that said no to me filming inside. So I can show you the items outside, but unfortunately, I cannot show you what's in store. Of course, there's Paddington up there. Not hungry yet, which is such a shame because those waffles look like such a good size. Why am I saying waffles? Those crepes. And they had savoury and sweet ones too, and they ranged in price from about £5 to £8. We probably saw on the board anyway. So that's one way to get rid of things. Straight out the window. Just looks like it's carpet. Have another gift shop along here. So there is now a line outside Farm Girl. Very, very popular. So Notting Hill in the spring, extremely picturesque. I feel like that word just sums up Notting Hill perfectly. So I'm just in the line for cheeky scones. Not that hungry, but I couldn't resist. They have a long line as well, so it's very promising. Just scooting out the doorway there. They look absolutely delicious. I'll show you. They're baked fresh downstairs. See, that's what got me. It was the smell of the scones and the queue, and then looking at them in the window as well. Here we go, can you see the menu through there as well? So I ended up bailing on cheeky scone just because I stood in line for 20-25 minutes and it did not move, and then a customer left who had eaten and he gave me that smile like, maybe don't eat here. So I ended up giving it a miss. I don't know if you've eaten here, let me know your thoughts, but it wasn't the one for today. So these green cab shelters first appeared in Victorian London when the law prohibited horse and carriage drivers from leaving their cabs unattended in a cab rank. Drivers had nowhere to rest, hide from the rain, or get a hot meal during their work hours. Captain George C. Armstrong, the editor of the Globe newspaper, came up with the idea of establishing cabmen's shelters just like these ones. So this is the Gate Cinema, which is the cinema where Will took Anna to see a film. So it seems we're back where we started. Thank you so much for spending the morning exploring Notting Hill. We saw lots of places from the Notting Hill film, Love Actually, Paddington. What a fun time. Now, if you want to see more London videos, check out the playlist up there. For home videos, shopping videos, check out my channel. Lots and lots of videos over there. And I'll see you over there. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.